Sing 2 is the latest animated musical from Illumination and Universal Pictures. It stars Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Scarlett Johansson, Tori, U2's Bono, and many, many more. It's written and directed by Garth Jennings. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my content. Ever-optimistic koala Buster Moon and his all-star cast of performers prepare to launch their most dazzling stage extravaganza yet, all in the glittering entertainment capital of the world. There's just one hitch. They first have to persuade the world's most reclusive rock star to join them. If you're a regular follower of my channel, you know that I am a big fan of the output of Illumination. One of my biggest guilty pleasures ever is the Minions. I love the Minion movies. I love Despicable Me. I guess I'm just a sucker for a good poo joke and a good fart joke. I love it. What can I say? You'll also know that I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. Yes, I do love a lot of musicals, but it takes something special to really, really work for me. Usually it comes down to the music that's been used. I'm not particularly a huge fan of like Broadway style stuff. I love a lot of classic musicals. I love a lot of the Disney musicals. I feel like it's the way that the music is used and how good the songwriting is, etc, etc. Whether the music is used to help engage the emotion, to help drive the story of the characters and the narrative of the film, etc, etc. I think as long as all those things align, I can get behind something. Given that, I've never watched Sing until now because it was not a movie that I was particularly that interested. On the surface, it looked like a movie that I didn't really think I was going to enjoy that much. But with this new one coming out and the studio wanting me to take a look at it, I thought, you know what, I will go back, I'll take a look at that first movie before I cover the second one. And man, I'm so glad that I did, because I really, really enjoyed the first one, and I have to say, I really, really, really enjoyed this second one even more. Watching the first one, I realized that this is actually a movie about these really wonderful characters with these really wonderful journeys, these really positive outlooks on life. Every single character, you know, explores a different theme and a different morale and different kind of all these different things through this really beautifully positive lens. All these people who are trying to find their way in life under different circumstances, trying to achieve the same goal, which is happiness through the medium of music and singing. And I just loved that. These characters have all had these wonderful character arcs in the first movie, and now they're in this second stage of their life and in their career where they just want to push forward. They want to keep on this trajectory, and they're discovering all these new kind of obstacles and things that come along the way of ultimately maintaining that happiness and maintaining that love for the thing that you want to do. I mean, you could apply this story to any matter of things, but using the power of music to drive this story, I think is so wonderful. I really love the way these movies use music. This one here uses some really great songs. There are some really great modern songs in here. There are some older ones that we all know and love as well. There's maybe one, maybe two new original tunes in here as well, which are all fun as well. I think the songwriting in here is terrific. But this uses stuff like Coldplay and U2, which are like two of my favorite, I guess you would call contemporary bands. And I think the iterations on the songs in here are just so fantastic. And yes, they are used in such a fantastic way to drive these characters, to drive the narrative. And I felt even more so with this second one here, the main driving point of this movie is this team is trying to put together this show, but to do so they have to pull out this old grisly rock star back onto the scene to perform for the first time in 15 years. And this is, of course, played by Bono in his first animated vocal performance. He's so great here, by the way, just as the entire cast is. But they use like a bunch of different little U2 songs from over the years to kind of drive this narrative. I just think that these movies are so wonderful. I think these are movies that fill you with happiness and love and life, and it's hard to find any kind of negative in a movie like this. If there was only one kind of little I guess, little issue that I had with this one, it's the same one that I had with the first movie. It's that maybe it's just a touch too long. These are bordering on 2 hours. I always feel like an animated movie should be like 85 minutes, 90 minutes, get in, get out. You know, children don't have the greatest of attention spans, but I think that's the only, like, kind of thing that I can think of with this movie that might be just kind of bring it down a little bit for me. Also, even though this movie does have a really fantastic story to tell, it is something that we have seen over and over again. This is the same kind of issue that I had with Encanto recently. A lot of these movies are kind of using, this isn't obviously isn't a Disney movie. Disney does it more so than any other studio, but I feel like all these other studios are kind of falling into this trap now where they're all telling these same stories, which is these characters trying to achieve something and, you know, overcome obstacles and stuff. I think Sing does it in kind of a unique way in which it's using these different songs and pulling them in, telling a narrative through pre-existing songs. I think that's such a really wonderful thing with this movie. I don't have as much of an issue with them doing that in this movie as I did say in Encanto, where that felt like the same movie I've seen over and over and over again from Disney. I just think the way that this movie plays with all these themes is so great, and that you've got all these different little trajectories with all these characters, I think is kind of a really unique thing for this film. Particularly when you have such a large cast of characters, an incredible team of vocal artists behind them as well. These are characters that I really love. I think these are going to become some of my favorite animated characters of all time, because they are just characters that just encourage you to be happy and to be courageous and to be full of love and life and happiness. And that's what I love in a movie, not just in a musical, but that's what I love in a movie. And I really, really came out of this movie really, really enjoying it, just as I did with the first one. But I think that this is a better movie, particularly on a narrative level, because it does take things, it's not just rehashing that first movie. I think that's the great thing here, is that this movie takes what the characters have learned from the first one and really puts them to their test by putting all these things to play. And I enjoyed this one so much more, and that's what I love. That's what I love about cinema, is when a movie can surprise you to this level. I definitely recommend checking this one out. Sing 2, go and watch it. And at that, I will be giving Sing 2 a 3.5 out of 5. Sing 2 is an absolutely gorgeous, life-affirming animated adventure filled with incredible themes and messages, and a stage full of fun, entertaining and relatable characters, and a ton of great musical numbers. Doubling down on the light-hearted approach from the first, Sing 2 is a must-watch for the whole family this holiday season. Ahead of the release of Sing 2, thanks to the incredible team over at Universal, I was lucky enough to chat with some of the cast and crew of the film, including Scarlett Johansson, Tori, Nick Kroll, and Garth Jennings. To check them out, you can click through the link above or at the end of the video. Sing 2 opens across Australian cinemas on Boxing Day, that's December 26, 2021. It'll open in the USA on December 22nd, and will open in the UK on January 28, 2022. Thanks to the incredible team over at Universal for providing me with an early screener of this movie for the purposes of this review, and for organising those incredible interview opportunities. Thanks everybody out there for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.